Hello everyone, welcome to Linux World YouTube channel. In this channel, you will have all the latest information about every Linux distribution. So without any further ado, let's get started. Well, the topic of today's video is Ubuntu 22.04 and what's new in it. Well, first of all, Ubuntu 22.04 is a long-term support release as it receives ongoing app updates and critical security fixes for the next 5 years from its release. It will also receive the periodical new Linux kernel releases and graphics driver updates. The first big change in Ubuntu 22.04 will be the GNOME version. As you can see, we have GNOME version 42 now. And it also makes use of GTK4, so we can expect things to be looking a little different. The newest version of GNOME will introduce a new screenshot tools and text editor. If I just search for my text editor in here it is. I'll just open this one, and it has a lot of new features like you can open any files from anywhere into your system. Then you have a lot of other things that have been added in this one. Same goes for screenshot tools. I will just close this one. If I just search for screen, here you can see the UI have been updated for our screenshot tool. Now you have more control over taking your screenshot and you have some more options. That's a really good one. Well, as we have seen the update in the desktop environment, if we talk about the firmware, well, for years the Software Center in Ubuntu has handled the updating of firmware. With the release of Ubuntu 22.04, a new GUI application will be unveiled, which is really just a front end for the FYUPD command line utility, and this is the right step in the direction for user with their user friendliness and clarity about system updates. Well, here this is the one I'm talking about. So you can just select this one and you can have pre-released updates immediately into your Ubuntu 20.04. That's a really good one. And if I talk about the other updates, well, in terms of Raspberry Pi, the new Ubuntu 22.04 will support Raspberry Pi models with as little as 2 GB of RAM. That's a really good one. Then in terms of PHP, Ubuntu 22.04 have upgraded to PHP 8.1 version, and a web developer will love this update. In terms of OpenSSL, well, now Ubuntu have started to support OpenSSL 3.0 that got released in September 2021, and that's a really good one. Then if we talk about the Ruby, well, now Ruby 3.0 will be supported with Ubuntu 22.04, and in terms of Python, the Python 3.10 version will be shipped as a default with Ubuntu 22.04. Well, now I'll talk about the kernel. Let me open my terminal. Well, now the kernel have been updated and now we have latest version as 5.15. The kernel 5.15 will come with many new features, which includes a new anti-FS file system driver called as anti-FS3. Now I'll talk about some of the core application updates. Well, Ubuntu 22.04 will also come with few of updates for some of its most used applications. For example, in terms of Firefox 96.0, in terms of Thunderbird Mail, we'll have 91.5, then we have Pulse Audio and Network Manager. All these have been updated and have been upgraded. At the end, I'll talk about some of the features that are very prominent and have been added in Ubuntu 22.04. Well, now we have more number of applications docked on the left side of our screen. Earlier, this was not in here. Earlier, we used to have 4, 5 or 6 applications, but now we have many applications that have been docked by default in here. Other than that, we have more number of applications by default in Ubuntu 22.04, and we have most of them very prominent one. Other than that, if I go to my settings, let me open my settings in here. And if you go to your appearance, which is right here, now we have system-wide dark mode applicable. If you just go with your dark mode, it will get applied to the whole system. Other than that, you have some of the accent colors that you can select for your system. Like you can go with anyone. If I go with the blue one, it will get applied on the whole system. I'll go with the default one and I will have default mode as well. I will just get out of this. Well, the next big thing that have been added in Ubuntu 22.04 and I have loved the most about this version is you can drag and drop anything to your desktop like here, or you can also drag and drop anything from your desktop to anywhere. So now this drag and drop have been added, which was not available earlier. I will just get out of this and now let's open our software center. Well, now they have worked a lot on this software center. As you can see, we have a whole new look of our software center. As you can see, in terms of categories, we have categories as revamped. They have been reshaped and now they look more appropriate and more pleasing to the eyes. So that's a really good one. So I will just close this one, and that brings us to the end of today's video. This is my first video on this channel. I would really appreciate if you show some love by liking and subscribing to my channel. Let's have a target of 200 subscribers from this video. And if you have anything to ask, please leave a comment below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Till the next video, take care.